that money you're spending to buy, that product, that all is used for something. The guy from BlackRock mentioned in the video that they don't let money sit. So James O'Keefe is back. He's back with OMG or O'Keefe Media Group. Yesterday, he put out a video showing a BlackRock recruiter talking about how BlackRock and other investment banks basically promote and profit from all the chaos in the world. In this case, they were talking about Ukraine is how it's so good for them because of, the prices of wheat and all these different factors that are affected by war, by conflict. Not to talk about the military industrial complex and all the companies that make all the weapons and things like that. You can watch the video. I'll link it below on Twitter. But the recruiter says that you could buy a senator with $10,000. Now, I wish that it was the most noble and honest people among us that go into government. But in general, obviously there are exceptions. But in general, it's not those people. It's the ambitious, which isn't necessarily bad, but in some cases it can be. It's the ambitious, it's the greedy, it's the power hungry that go into government basically to enrich themselves or to get power or to be able to control others. There's people that get off on that, and a lot of them end up in government or law enforcement. So the video dropped yesterday, and I saw this other video on Twitter today that James O'Keefe put out. Here, so you can check it out here.
Hey everyone, James O'Keefe here. We just confronted the BlackRock guy. He ran into a police station. It's wild. You'll see that video tomorrow. But in the meantime, we're getting crazy emails into our Proton mail. Crazy emails. It appears to be a denial of service attack. Every state government is North Dakota, Oregon, State Department. We're getting inundated every second, every minute with emails from every state Department of Labor, government transportation agency. So somehow we've been signed up immediately on all 50 states email listserv, and it's making it so that we can't actually see the emails coming in from our sources. So whoever's behind this is a denial of service attack. See there what it looks like in our Proton mail. We get notified every time someone messages us because it's a source. City of Valdez, Alaska Metro, Nebraska, DNR, North Dakota Game and Fish. I mean, look at this. People are trying to stop us from seeing the messages from our sources. Obviously, to stop our mission, obviously we're with a target. This is what happens when you go after BlackRock. Hello, we're going to put on the screen for you here. You can go there, submit your tips, and also go to O'KeefeMediaGroup.com.
All right, so I'll put the link below so you can check out this video, and if you do have tips and stuff for them, you can send it that way. Now, that's the problem. BlackRock, I think, controls trillions of dollars, and they invest in all sorts of companies, and they manipulate the stock market. I think basically the stock market and the financial services industry was made to transfer wealth from one set of people to another. It's always ended up that way. That's what they usually use. And then sometimes they'll get an opportunity to use other things, i.e. the last few years, to transfer wealth. You're going up against some very, very powerful people. And I think it's the same people that are going after James O'Keefe and Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan and former President Donald Trump. They use all that money to control basically the world. But luckily, people are waking up. And if you don't know Vivek Ramaswamy, he's a Republican candidate for president. I'll put a link to his information below. But he works in the financial industry, and he basically set up a fund to compete with BlackRock and Vanguard and the other banks to really try and force companies to focus on what their core mission is to create value. To create value for their shareholders, for their employees, for the owners, and not get into all this social engineering, because that's what's going on. And don't get me wrong, Bud Light, Target, their job is to make money. And if they don't, then they're not going to be in business for very long. But the way business works, sometimes you depend more on loans and lines of credit than you do on revenue from selling your products or services. So a lot of times they need the money from these banks so they can keep operating, so they can pay, the daily bills. And that's why those banks have so much power. What we need to do is be more involved. That money you're putting into your 401k, that money you're spending to buy, that product, that all is used for something. The guy from BlackRock mentioned in the video that they don't let money sit. They're always making it work. They're always moving it from one place to another, all with the purpose of increasing their influence, their power, their wealth. So what can little we do? We can be more informed, and we can act with our wallet. Whether it be a few dollars here, a few dollars there, just look into, okay, what am I buying? Who makes those things? What service am I consuming, and who provides it? And what do they promote? Who are they donating to? It'll take you a few hours. Not even that. You can look it up online really quick. And then you can say, okay, well, not buying that anymore. I'm buying this instead. And if millions and millions of us do that, then we can have an impact, as we've seen with Bud Light and Target. I remember one of my family members was drinking Bud Light recently, and I brought up, what's going on with Bud Light and Pride and all that. And I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I just like it. Now, in order not to start a fight, I didn't say anything, but I immediately thought, okay, well, if you don't care that the money that you're spending is going to convince your grandson that he's actually your granddaughter, and drink on. Everything we do in life has consequences. And if we become more aware of those consequences, then we can act to maybe change or influence those consequences. It all starts with us. What we have on our side is numbers. And there's a lot of us. A lot more of us than there are of them. So, let's open our eyes a little bit more, spread the word, and act. Most importantly, act. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one.